Welcome! In this session, we will learn about class and object in object-oriented programming. And this concept is very important in object-oriented programming. So let's start and we will understand it with the help of an example. Suppose a construction company needs to build a building. So what they need to do first? They cannot go directly at some place and start making that building by joining bricks. So that is not the case. They cannot do that. So what they need to have first? They need to hire an engineer that will make a blueprint of that building. So first of all, they need to have the structure of that building built on paper or something before they can go ahead and make that original building out there. So that blueprint which an engineer will make for that building is called a class in object-oriented programming. So that blueprint has no real value. It's not something real out there. It's just a structure of that real thing on paper that we call a blueprint. And now by using this blueprint, we can go ahead and make an original building out there. Because in blueprint structure will be defined and everything. So now we can have some people there that can build that building. And that original building is called an object in object-oriented programming. And now by using this blueprint, we can have another building out there as well. So now there are two buildings of same blueprint and we can have a third one as well. And we can have any number of buildings out there by using this blueprint. So this concept is called class and object. Class is basically something you can refer to as a blueprint that defines the structure that how that real thing is going to be. So we need to have class there. And by using that class, we can make as many real objects in object-oriented programming. So object you can think of as something real that has a real value. Class is not real. Class is something on paper and object is something real. So this concept is called class and object. So by using this class building, we can have building A, B and C out there. And these building A, B and C will be real, but they will be derived from which class? Building. That will define its structure there. Similarly, a car manufacturing company needs to have a model of car before they can start manufacturing that car. So any company needs to have that engineering model there. So they will hire a person that will make that car model there, and after this we have that model of car there, we can have any number of cars from that model. We can make those cars in factory by using that model, but we need to have that model there. So this model is called class, and the real cars which we will make out of it are called objects. So everything in real life is a class. For example, if you have a house is a class. And if you have a car is a class. Your laptop is a class. Your computer is a class. And anything you can think of in real world is a class. Before we can have objects of that, we need to have something defined for that class. So what class is composed of? It is composed of two things, properties and functions. So what are these? If we have a car class, what will be the properties of car? Its color, top speed, number of wheels, doors, these all will be properties of this car. Anything that refers to how this looks and what this car have will be in properties. And the second thing a class has is a function. So what functions car can perform? It can accelerate, it can start, we can apply brake on this and we can stop this car. So any mechanism that any process that this car have, any functionality that this car is goes in this function part. So class has two things, only two things, properties and functions. You can refer to anything. If you have a building, then it will be have properties like color, how many rooms, how many floors, and functions will be like you can open the door, you can close the door, and things like that in that building. So everything, every class has properties and functions. Here we have looked at an example of a car, but when we go to an example of book, we can open book, that will be function. The color of book will be its property. Number of pages of that book will be its property. So we can define these things in any of our class. So first of all, we have to define a class with the properties and functions. Then we can make any number of objects from that class. Now let's move into code editor and write some real examples there of class and object.